What up, y'all? It's another adventure, another story coming from your boy Hack to the Tech to get that check. Y'all know that I'm interested in the mysterious and the paranormal, you know, especially involving musicians. So that's basically what I'm involved in. Now, this video might take a little while, but if you're really into these type of things, these mysterious things, it got a wild ending. So I think you should watch it and keep watching it to the end, because the ending is crazy. You know what I mean? The ending is real crazy. So we're going to start it off like this. The story is a true story of a man considered one of the greatest blues players of all time. There was something supernatural about him. Others say his music was in the level of genius that will only exist once. Listening to his music, you would think there were 2 or 3 guys singing, but in reality, it was only one. Robert Johnson, born on May 8th, 1911, in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. Robert Johnson was mostly identified by his music, being that he only had 2 photos that existed of him. His mother was Julia Major Dodds, and his biological father was named Noah Johnson. Johnson was a product of a confusing childhood, with 3 men serving as his father before he reached age 7. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Little is known about his biological father, Noah Johnson, whom his mother never married. The boy and his mother lived on various plantations in the Mississippi Delta region before settling briefly in Memphis, Tennessee, with her first husband, Robert Dodds, who had changed his name to Spencer. Julia remarried to Charles Dodds, a relatively prosperous landowner and furniture maker with whom she had 10 children with. Charles Dodds had been forced by a lynch mob to leave Hazelhurst following a dispute with white landowners. Julia left Hazelhurst with baby Robert Johnson, but in less than 2 years, she brought the boy to Memphis to live with her husband, who had changed his name to Charles Spencer. Robert spent the next 8 to 9 years growing up in Memphis and attending the Carnes Avenue Colored School, where he received lessons in arithmetic, reading, language, music, geography, and physical exercise. It was in Memphis that he acquired his love for knowledge of the blues and the popular music. Robert rejoined his mother around 1919-1920 after she married an illiterate sharecropper named Will Dusty Willis. They originally settled on a plantation in Lucas Township in Crittenden County, Arkansas, but soon moved across the Mississippi River to commerce in the Mississippi Delta near Tunica and Robbinsville. Robert was at school from 1924 to 1927. The quality of his signature on his marriage certificate suggests that he was relatively well educated for a boy of his background. A school friend, Willie Coffey, who was interviewed and filmed in later life, recalled as a youth, Robert was already noted for playing the harmonica and jaw harp before playing the guitar. Robert would sit and play for people in the fields, and he would refuse to work. All he wanted to do was play his music. Coffey recalled that Robert was absent for long periods, which suggests that he may have been living and studying in Memphis. In 1929, he married 16-year-old Virginia Travis, whose death in childbirth, who died in childbirth along with a child. They both died at childbirth. His wife and his child died at childbirth, and that really destroyed Robert Johnson. It really devastated him. When Johnson arrived in a new town, he would play for tips on the street corners, or in front of the local barbershop, or at a restaurant. Musical associates have said that in live performances, Johnson often did not focus on his dark and complex original compositions, but instead he pleased audiences by performing more well-known pop standards of the day, and not necessarily the blues. With an ability to pick up tunes at first hearing, he had no trouble giving his audiences what they wanted, and certain of his contemporaries later remarked on his interest in jazz and country music. He also had an uncanny ability to establish a rapport with his audience. In every town in which he stopped, he would establish ties to the local community that will serve him well when he passed through again a month or a year later. Around this time, the blues musician Son House moved to Robbinsville, where his musical partner Willie Brown lived. Late in life, House remembered Johnson as a little boy who was a competent harmonica player, but an embarrassingly bad guitarist. According to a legend, as a young man living on a plantation in rural Mississippi, Johnson had a tremendous desire to keep a great blues musician. To become a great blues musician. One day he left, and Johnson was instructed to take his guitar to a crossroad near Dockery Plantation at midnight. There are claims for at least a dozen other sites as the location of the crossroads. There he met the devil, who took the guitar and tuned it. The devil played a few songs and returned the guitar back to Johnson, giving him mastery of the instrument. When they returned to town after spending a year away, according to the legend, during that period, Johnson made a deal with Satan at the crossroads, acquiring his talent as a guitarist, singer, and songwriter in exchange for the stipulation that he would have only 8 years to live. While he was away, he met another woman, Virgie May, and even had a son with her. Now, Robert was already known for going from town to town singing his music. Robert's relationships will never work out because his first wife's parents said he played the devil's music. And now the second woman he met, her parents didn't allow her or her child to see his father, which was Robert Johnson, because the blues were known as being the devil's music. That also devastated Robert Johnson. When he returned after being away for a while, an entire year, he went to a nightclub where Son House and Willie Brown were performing. He begged the musicians to please give him a chance, and they did. Once Robert got on stage, they couldn't believe what they were hearing. The boy was playing better than any musician known at that time. They couldn't believe it. They said he must have done something. Some say he met up with a man named Ike Zimmerman in the middle of the night in the graveyard, where Ike taught him how to play guitar, but nobody could ever prove that. Eventually, Robert Johnson would gain all this fame and money and respect, and the woman loved him. And he started drinking heavy and not caring about life anymore. One day while drinking and performing at a juke spot, which is another word for nightclub in those days, he was flirting with another man's woman. The man became jealous and enraged and passed the already drunk Robert Johnson a poisoned bottle of whiskey. One of his friends smacked the bottle out of his hand, and Robert Johnson got upset and said, "Don't ever smack a $7 bottle out of my hand." So they passed him another poisoned bottle. Robert Johnson was sick for 3 days and would eventually pass away from the poison. The nightclub was called the Three Fork Uke. You got it? Three Fork Uke. 3 forks. Ain't that the Satan's fork? Robert Johnson died on August 13, 1938. In 1986, John Hammond heard his music. He went to go look for him. Wait, I don't think it was 1986. Maybe it was or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it was earlier in the days. I believe it was 1986. If I'm wrong, y'all correct me. But John Hammond went to go look for him. He wanted him to perform in Carnegie Hall. He went to go look for him. He found out he was dead. And but he got some recordings of him. So at the Carnegie Hall, they had a performance, and they played some of his music. And the crowd went wild. Everybody was going crazy for his music. Whoops. Everybody was going crazy for his music. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You know what I mean? People were going crazy for his music. You know what I mean? That kind of remind me like a Nipsey Hussle type of thing, Biggie, Tupac. You know what I'm saying? You know, and what crazy? The crazy thing is that they put at the ending is that a lot of people that sold their soul, allegedly, supposedly, whatever, died at 27, like Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain. The list goes on. And now, I'm not saying these people sold their soul to the devil for fame and fortune and all of this, but I don't know. You tell me, man. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But so I hope you enjoyed this story, you know what I'm saying? As my stories go on, they gonna get better and look better, you know what I'm saying? I'm just starting this, you know what I'm saying? Don't judge me too hard on this, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Show love. Make sure you share. Make sure you like. Make sure you what else? Make sure you just watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I really care about. You know what I'm saying? Facts. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts on this dope story. Robert Johnson was a dope musician, but did he really sell his soul to the devil? Y'all tell me. It's your boy Hack to the Tech to get that check. And I'm out. Peace.